Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Thank Godot it's Friday. And welcome to episode 50 of Party Wipe. We're making a roguelike deck builder in Godot where you draft an RPG party. How's it going, everybody? Couldn't be happier. It is Friday. I hope everyone is enjoying their Friday. How are we doing? I'm good. I'm tired. Good. I've got my Godot my in-person Godot meetup tomorrow, so there will be no stream tomorrow, no Saturday stream this week. So this is the last stream of the week this week. So we are going to I'm giving myself, this is episode 50. I'm giving myself this episode and probably a bit tomorrow if I'm being honest, to address my concerns with the UI and to finish that stuff up and to get into a place where I can be happy and we can move on to the two big things, which is actions and like turns, like AI turns. Getting players to be able to perform actions, getting AIs to be able to do the same. And by AI, I mean opponents, AI opponents. I hate how we have to specify what kind of AI we're talking about nowadays. Back in my day, AI was just a utility function. All right, we're starting fresh, I think. Let's check the Git. This file's a little different. That's fine. This file's technically a little different. I don't know why this file's different. That's fine. This is a mostly clean branch here. So this is like the 1080p UI. I don't like this. Come on, Godot. I should just count to 30 or something when I start up the engine on this project. We've got a lot of tool scripts and plugins, and I think it's causing me problems. I love the new card design we did yesterday. It makes me so happy. It is so minimal, but it has so much character to it. Just the little teeths. I enjoy that a lot. We're gonna have to do some stuff. I'm prepping to do some stuff here. We need to change some things. So we tried to do like a large version of the character sheet. I hate this. I hate this a lot. I mean, I didn't finish it. I kind of gave up as I was doing the borders here. I was trying to blow up the iconography in the center relative to this one, which is the original. So the icons were bigger, but the text boxes were approximately the same size. Where's the card front? These card front large. Yeah, I enjoy this card design a lot. I really do. Just a little extra detail. Hey, Sapphire. Oh, you're playing Big Walk with your brother. Nice. Subscribing at Tier 1 for 11 months. You're so close. You're so close to the Platinum 1-year badge. Hard to believe. It's already been a year. But yeah, have a good weekend, Sapphire. I've started playing Big Walk with my friends, with my friend group that plays video games. I am not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm not going to spoil anything. I think it's all right. I'm not like a huge puzzle gamer, but it's fun to play games with your friends. So, you know. Halloween Jam was your first jam watching me? Oh, man. Too bad we can't do a Halloween Jam this year. That's okay. That's okay. Next year. Next year, we'll get back to jamming in like the latter half of the year. I'm sure I'm going to be super burnt out on this, and I'm not going to want to work on this anymore, and we'll do some jams and maybe identify the next game that we're going to make. It would be cool to jam out the next game first so that I actually have a finished thing, so I don't get stuck working on stupid stuff like I'm doing here. I like being forced to have to basically make a complete loop. But yeah, I can't hang with this UI scaling. So what we're going to do is and the problem is all of the tricks and things I've been doing to get to even this point has been involving doing a lot of non-power of 2. Well, not non-power of 2, but doing a lot of non-dividable by 2 scaling. So like this is scaled to 4. Problem is if you take 4 and you divide it by 3, you don't get a whole number. And that's the problem we're running into with all of these tricks of scaling. How's it going, Nanigans? Happy Friday. Hey, Arnio in the house. You're enjoying it so far? Your brother is too? Yeah, I'd be interested. That seems like the minimum number of people you can play Big Walk with. That's the other thing I'm getting from Big Walk is it feels like you don't necessarily need more than 2 people. Like, we're playing with 4 people, and it's fine. But most of the puzzles we've done so far, it seems like you could have done them with 2. It's very slow, too. Your walk speed in Big Walk is so low. It's so low. It's crazy how low your walk speed is. It doesn't need to be like Apex Legends, but, like, come on. Nanigans, you're going all right. You're exhausted. You're plowing through stuff. Looking forward to the weekend. Yeah. Working for the weekend. All right. So what we're going to attempt to do is I'm going to take a crack at the native 360p viewport thing one more time. We're going to see if we can bring it into a reasonable proportions by just changing some elements. So we might redraw things like some buttons and stuff and some banners and like try to, because I realize some of this stuff is bigger than it needs to be. Like you'll notice this button text is at 2x resolution. It doesn't need to be. There's no reason it needs to be. So we're gonna see if we can do that, and then maybe there's some character sheet stuff we can mess with too. We'll probably also change the environment map max size again. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to try some stuff. And we will see if it works. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. But no matter what, we kind of got to be done with this today. I spent a lot of time staring at it last night while watching The Green Knight again. I'm just feeling very desolate when I look at the game like this. You know? Feels very desolate. And it's not going to scale correctly if it gets down-resed anyway. We might need to flip the cards around so we have the landscape version of the card again, which I don't like. Hey, LSG, Arnio, you gotta watch Green Knight already? You don't know why you put that off? It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix through August 31st in my region. That might or might not help you. I'm glad I watched it again before it went away. I like it. I like it more. I don't know. I still have complicated feelings about that movie, but it's compelling. I'll call it that. I'll say that. It's compelling. They expect you to know a lot about Arthurian legend. And personally, I don't know much about Arthurian legend. I forgot Morgan Le Fay was Arthur's sister, which is crazy because I had literally just watched Merlin miniseries like a month before. And I'd already forgotten everything about it. They also don't name any of the characters in the movie, which is really interesting, like hardly at all in the credits. They don't actually say Morgan Le Fay, so you're just meant to remember and know independently both who this character is and how that's significant to Arthurian legend. And they do that a lot. They do that a lot. And I think it suffers from a kind of art house kind of slog because of that. But God, it's a compelling cinematic experience. All right, let's start working. Let's get to it. It's not on Finnish Netflix. Oh, rep. Yeah, that was my concern. I was like, in my region. It's wherever you can watch all those A24 films or whatever. LSG, you know nothing about Arthurian stuff and you loved The Green Knight. I'm not saying it's required, but it certainly helps. It helps you understand the significance of a lot. But you can kind of come to your own understanding of it. I just think it's a little dense if you don't already know that stuff. It also forces you to reconsider a lot of things when you see the connection. All right, time to scale everything down. See if we can fit this. I really want to make this happen here. It's a pixel art game. It needs to scale like a pixel art game should scale, you know. Maybe I'm being unreasonable. Why did I do it like this? Why did I make my life difficult? I am going to try to do this in such a way that we can support, like, even though it's going to be 360p, I would like to support Steam Deck. I really would. I would really like to support that. This we're definitely going to need to redraw at a lower resolution. This thing, I feel like this banner is causing us a lot of our headache because it's taking just so much real estate. But we'll leave it in for now. We'll probably have this be conditional, like you mouse over it and it will tell you the other text. And I'm probably also going to scale down the text. Probably going to scale that down. Because this is a reasonable text scale. Everything else is kind of crazy. You were there for the vibe? It's a vibe film. Big vibes in that movie for sure. Everyone did a great job in that movie. Highly recommend. Highly recommend if you like stuffy kind of like maybe not stuffy, cerebral kind of art house kind of stuff. Because yeah, the vibes are big. But yeah, we're just chilling today. I'm gonna try to get us into a place where I feel good about the UI. I have to update the cards. Yeah, we were just scaling everything up, and I think we were just making things too complicated for ourselves here. It's if this was, I really wish. There are times that I wish I had just done a downres 3D, because downres 3D, you have a lot more flexibility in how you're rendering this stuff. A lot of flexibility. It's when you want actual pixel art that scales properly, that's when you start getting into trouble. don't know if that text is going to be quite the right size, but you know. Or the box, not the text. The box specifically. I'm just going to rough this, get this roughly here. I'm not going to try to do this perfectly. I can come back and finesse it, as they say. Oh, we're chilling. Hope everyone else is having a happy Friday here. Hope everyone's big chilling. Or getting ready to, if you're not already. Nanigans, you have quote-unquote down-resed 3D, but you still have some of the same problems because you're trying to keep a locked relationship between pixels and voxels. Yeah. Yeah, you really are trying to do that, huh? That's crazy. No, it's good. It's good for a lot of things to have that, to make sure you have that clarity. But yeah, you probably will run into some similar problems, but I don't think your base resolution is as low as mine, you know? I assume your base viewport is not like 360p. I can't ever get away from that though. For pixel art. I can go lower. I've gone lower. Our environmental art is 180p. Bare Necessities is also 180p. 180p is my preferred game jam resolution. All right, the cards are back in the right size. Let's check various things out here. We're gonna need the positioning of a lot of this is gonna be very wrong. We'll figure it out. Draw. Oh boy. Unscale that. Hey, Nix. Subscribing for the 15 months. That's amazing. Has it only been 15 months, Nix? Crazy. Hope you're doing well. Hope your new feline companion is settling in all right. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do the side-by-side card thing. The cards are too big. One problem with this is these new cards I made are bigger than the old cards. Yeah, I got to change a bunch more stuff. Yeah, you're just using native resolution and just down-resing the actual pixels by whatever factor you need. At least this point in time, you don't have specific resolution anything set at. Yeah, for pixel art, it's like, you better be doing 360 or 180, or you were just going to have a hard time with the 720 to 1080. Like, if your native resolution is 720p, that just can't scale to 1080p, because it's just 1.5. And 1.5 is not good for pixel art. Okay, I like the bigness of the cards. Obviously, they're huge. Hey, we got someone cheering. 2 biddies. Thank you, Muncie UD. Buy some banana. How much is a banana, Michael? 2 bits? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. LSG, one thing you like about 3D, you don't have to think about resolution. You just set it at 1080p and forget about it. Yeah, when I do down res, I just still use 360p because that's usually the resolution I want to down res to anyway. And then I know there's no problem. 360p is good. Next, Tia's doing great. Good. That's good. Hey, Rhiannon. Tia's living in her litter box. That is a little weird. Yeah, which is a banana. It depends on who you ask. Oh, man. Thank you. 2 biddies twice. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, we're scaling this to 2. And we're probably making the map smaller. It's probably what we're going to do here, because this is too big. I'm probably going to go... with, like... like that. That could comfortably be 8. We're going to do 8 or 9. 9 is what we had a problem before with 9, but maybe we can make it work. Just going to leave this for now. This is going to look wrong. So we're back to kind of where we were. Where we said everything was too crowded. I think I want to make the roster banner thing a little bigger. Maybe a little bigger, maybe not. Move the cards down. I'm going to make the button smaller. I have a plan to make the button smaller, and I think that will help a lot. Lower the cards a little out of the way. I just like the bigger, everything being bigger. I get that it feels a little cramped, but I think we can make it comfortable. I want it to feel like a small game, feel like an intimate small game. So I'm okay with that to an extent. I don't remember what the right height is for these. I think what we need to do is we need to be more careful about how we use our space. Like, I've thought about alternatives to using the banner up here. The timeline banner. I'm thinking instead we could just put numbers in next to the roster tabs that, like, they're going next, like first, second, third. I'm thinking we could maybe do other things that buy us some screen space. I'm thinking about that as an option, as an alternative. A couple of weeks ago, you checked up on a bunch of bananas. They were like $8 US. Oh, my lord. Yeah, somewhere between $2 and $20 sounds about right. We have an error code somewhere. Oh, it's just the audio. Occasionally the audio driver just doesn't work. Just interesting. All right, I want to find a good anchor point. Sync the cards down a little more. I increase the amount the cards pop up when you mouse over them, and I think that's helpful. I'm gonna try 400. That might be too far, but we're gonna try it. It might be too far. That's maybe okay, actually. With the increased amount they pop up. So the map's gonna get smaller. Is there anything else I can do efficiency-wise? I don't think so. Alright, so we are going to move this wall over. Oh, we're not in the scene. We should go to the scene. Move this over. So this is back to 6 by 9, which is not bad. So Into the Breach is 8 by 8. I already like that with the top banner removed. I already prefer that. Might do 6 by 8. Because this is too tight. And knowing this stuff is really helpful because it kind of helps me decide what kind of numbers we're talking about, which is very good to know. That looks fairly centered. Like, to me, it's okay if the wizard moves 1 space. Or 2 spaces. Like, I'm okay with really low numbers. It's still too cramped, though, is my problem. Well, maybe it's okay, actually. I think there's some stuff we could do to improve it. Tighten it up. We're gonna go back to 6 by 9. I preferred that. I know this is crowded. That definitely helps. So what we're gonna need to do is flip the card to be landscape again. We need to make these buttons smaller. The equipment page and the character sheet are perfect. No notes for those. This map feels more like a room than a field anyway. You can always come up with reasons why it's a bit more cramped. Yeah, this is a room. It's definitely a room. The only real difference is if this was outside, we'd have trees around the edge. It's definitely supposed to be like you're going from room to room. And when it was the other scale, it felt like the empty space was like really cavernous, and I would like want to do other level design stuff around there with that space, and I just can't. I think this is I think this is crowded. I think it communicates that it's a small game. I need to move the cards, but I don't know. It feels better to me. I feel more comfortable. I like the large scale. I don't know. We're gonna stick with this. We can always change this stuff later, but this is what we're gonna do because it sets a good baseline for me. I think getting rid of the banner was strong. There isn't really room to show who's going next, but that's again something we can figure out. We could have a turn list button or something that you can pop up that shows who's going next. And maybe it would maybe fill up over the roster, the enemy roster. Maybe do something like that. All right, we're gonna do a few things to make this happen. One is to go back to the landscape version of the card back. This text is too big. Oh, this is the small one. This is the wrong. Make the card back large. Here we go. I have to change the position of the shadow for this one. Actually, can I just magic select this? That'd be good. That'd be great. Oh. Oh, can I just select all of a certain color? There we go. Why didn't that totally work? There we go. Yeah, I eat apples. Apples are pretty expensive. But that's my jam. Okay, base card back, landscape. I prefer the portrait layout, but there isn't room. There isn't room here. Anyone got some fun weekend plans? I mentioned earlier I've got my Godot meetup. My monthly in-person Godot meetup that I go to at this local hackerspace. That's fun. Okay, so this is way over here for some reason. That's interesting. I always think it's interesting how these things get positioned when they get rotated. Kind of weird. Yeah, like, why is this all the way... Like, what is the relationship to reality here? Because I genuinely don't know. Like, I'm just randomly positioning this in empty space. Almost there. Like, what's the logic? Like, why is it that if I anchor it here, it shows up here? You know? You know what I mean? Crazy. Seems crazy. Almost. Almost there. But yeah, I'm just flying blind here. So close. But like, where's the logic? I'm gonna say 130. I'm gonna leave it there. We're gonna do this thing. Do the same thing here. We say 130. I'm gonna say 298 or something. Let's forget about the buttons here. Almost. Man, this is huge. Oh, was this my problem before? This was my problem before. Where I was like, we don't really have room for the roster name, the party roster title. But I think we can make it work. There's always something, isn't there? Maybe the trick is to not start the player with all 4 characters. That seems like that might actually be very overwhelming. I've been wondering about some things around forcing the player to pick certain characters early. Or forcing them to pick all their characters at the beginning rather than just letting them start with a character. And then they get other characters over the course of the run. We'd still need to max them out at like 4, just because we don't want all the characters to be available. But that would help, because then we wouldn't need this version of the party roster necessarily. The full version. Well, it's not unlock. It's like you could pick any of these to start, and they're like quote unquote your character or whatever. And then you would just get the opportunity to pick more. Something like that. Or we could, you know, start you with those characters, but you like on the first turn or in the initial combat encounter, you draw like one of them, like you're guaranteed to draw a hero or something. And then you would need to draw into the others. Something to like keep you from starting with the full party every time. I know it feels like we're just back to like, I know it's like deja vu all over again. We're always relitigating these things, and that's kind of how it works. You're like, oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do that? It's like, well, there's a lot of considerations. I think this is supposed to go up to like here. And this would just go away. You could have the tutorial shuffle always be the same so you can control what cards are dealt. Yeah, something like that. Well, it would need to be more specific than that. It would need to be like you start a run with like one character somehow. Either you get drawn and you play the character. Like it would just be like the first combat encounter. Just because I'd want to, because I can stop telling you that this is the party roster once you have the, once you know it's the party roster. But like, at first, you should probably tell them that it's the party roster. They probably shouldn't need to like figure that out. Yeah, like something like this. If anything, we could border the enemy roster like more villainously, like with the purple rather than the red or something like that. Hey, Adagon with a hydrate. How's it going? Maybe the first 3 combat rewards are booster packs for each additional character. You only start with a single hero. Something like that. Because I really don't want the first thing that you do in a run of this game be to like draft like 20 cards. Or 40, God help you. I have to think about that in terms of like, how many cards do you want to give the player? Is it 1 card per combat encounter? How many combat encounters would it take for your party to feel like you finally got enough equipment? You know? Are you meant to buy cards at the shop as well as like find them? Like, there's a lot of balance considerations there that we haven't thought of. Okay, we're close. Man, I feel like I could fit party roster here somehow. Maybe not without crowding, though. Not without significant crowding. Which is already significant. There's also another thing which I haven't considered, which is like, what if I had the draw deck on the left and the discard on the right, and we move these buttons around? That would help provide some dead corners for streamers, because they could basically put their portrait over like the card, discard, or draw deck area, rather than doing this. I don't know. The alternative, though, is that we have more room here to do things, like I said, with like a turn list or turn order. So you could like click a button and like see the order in which everyone's going to go or something like that. I think getting rid of the top banner was a good idea, but it means we do need a little bit more room. You like the idea of the discard pile being on the right? Is showing the draw pile even necessary? Is it interactable at all? Yes. It lets you see your deck. Like you can preview the draw pile or the discard pile, which is a relevant game, like card game mechanic. Yeah, finding a home for the buttons would be a little tricky, but we can make the buttons a lot smaller. That's like our next thing. And I like the idea of associating your buttons, maybe like buttons don't need to be down here. And Into the Breach, the end turn button is like way up in the upper left. So we could even do things where I could embed some of these buttons like nearer to the party roster, which probably makes sense. And we could split them up a bit. Like we could do a lot of stuff. We could also have them expand out. So we could do the icon, like button icons, and they could expand out when you mouse over them or something. The more you look at the stack of buttons on the right, the less you like it. Yeah, same. Samesies. I do like having the idea of having move and act buttons. I don't love the idea of jamming them into the character sheet. Like, the other option is that we could make move and act these things be buttons, but I don't like that. I would rather have these be, like, tooltips where, like, you could mouse over your move and you could see what all is contributing to, like, your move ability. Whether, like, you cast a spell or you're wearing, like, boots of move more. Move more boots. Can you just scale the draw discard in half and rotate them so they're side by side? I could. That feels gross, but I could do that. I could do that, Nanigans, but then now we're like losing the UI proportionality. When we were using smaller cards, they fit next to each other. Hey, Boolean. Thought you were on vacation. What are you doing here? You're packing. Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Carry on. Hey, Magoo. You got a new A4 notebook. You're studying OS dev. Nice, nice. If movement happens at a specific time, does it even need a button? Could you move people just by clicking them during the move phase? There isn't really a move phase, but I'm starting to think about having a move phase. Because that would simplify the whole, like, showing what other people are going to do. It was more of like an I go, you go kind of thing. Which would mean you'd be able to move and act at the same time, which I think I need to keep because that's more D&D. Like, I don't think I can split moving and acting into separate phases. But we don't necessarily need a button to move. We could have move be the default unless you have an item equipped. We could do that. Like, unless you selected a weapon, you could just be defaulted into move mode, but as soon as you select an item, you could be in act mode. Is an option. The problem is, just selecting a character and being in move mode is a little weird. But it could work. It could work. It could work. All right. We're going to undo some stuff. Are we back to draw? Yeah, the regular draw and discard buttons. Okay. Let us make sure these are set up with the right layouts here. All right, so let's hide the buttons. Let's hide the buttons. We don't need them. Well, the end turn button we kind of need. We'll put this up here for now. Just because I need to be able to actually press this button. Or I won't be able to test anything. But let's put a pin in the buttons and let's try this draw pile on the left, discard pile on the right thing. Hey, Jacob. Oh, Magoo with the Raid Master to CA2. If he is streaming, that is where we'll go. Hey, Ving. Someday your .blend file will load into Godot. I think Godot and Blender play pretty nicely, but I can imagine. Hey, Magoo, you indoctrinated your Unity friend into learning Godot. That's great. That is great. Yeah, I think context-based moving and acting is probably what we'll do, Arneo, just to limit the amount. We'll see. We'll see. The end turn button is going to be the one we really need to identify some kind of. But it might just be here, honestly. This might become our top banner thing. But we'll try to find somewhere else for it. I don't really want it to live there. We're just going to put it there for the moment. All right, discard and draw. Why are you all the way over there? Okay. How about a context menu where you click the character, then you can choose either act or move from a little tooltip? Maybe. Can't wait to play this Digital Iliad. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that that's a soon thing. We're definitely blowing past our first deadline, which was a playtesting event next weekend. That's definitely not happening, but that's okay. Like your radial menu, radial menu. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We have room for those. For sure. We have some room. I don't actually hate this, if I'm being honest. But I kind of want to leave these free and clear. This as much of these as possible. Because I plan on doing some interesting situational stuff. Thanks for coming over to YouTube just for solidarity on the blend file issues. How is the discard pile here? You saw me put it in the bottom right corner. When did that happen? Okay. All right. Deja vu all over again. Jacob, you're good. You're getting stuff done. Dealt with some billboards in Godot so the artist can do some sprites. Nice. You gotta try to see if equipped items can look good. How's UI? Heck, jail purgatory. I've given myself to like basically today to get somewhere that I feel okay with. because I need to stop worrying about this. And I think I'm coming down on the side of this, like, just kind of slightly jankier, kind of close up. Look. Yeah, we're already in our first ad break. Time does move fast. We have more room. Could fan the cards out a little more. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, here we have lots of room now. That's a little tight here, but that fits. It fits. It technically fits. It's kind of off by 1 pixel, but that's easy enough to change. What do we got going on here? Oh wait, no, this is right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe we don't have this. Maybe we don't have the space for that. Maybe it's got to be that. Oh, you change. You move. I see what's happening here. That's weird. Why is that happening? Where do you spawn under? Oh, party sheets. There you are. You are off by 1. There you go. Hold on to your ads, everybody. We'll be out in about a minute. It still looks off by 1, but you know what? I'm not going to sweat it. What we do need to do is add this back here. I think I can make a little room if I pop this up a bit. Also, what's going on here? Oh, this is different now. It's crowded. I'm going to admit that it's crowded. You're going to stop being a degenerate, contributing to derailing chat? Yeah, don't worry about it. Chat will do that. Okay, why does this, when I switch modes, also go down 1? You can reassure me about these UI decisions I'm making that I definitively know you disagree with. So why does this swap down 1 pixel when I click it? So why is it that when I pop this out, I see this. I see what's happening here, kind of. But why is it that when I change this texture, it slides down 1? You gotta work on your mod, Nix. Yeah, nobody can force you. Roster. Party roster. Something weird's happening with the party roster here. I think this is going to get a little smaller. Actually, no, I guess it doesn't need to now. Yeah, something weird is happening here. Where we're like shifting ever so slightly. Oh, it's this other thing. I know where it is. Where's this stupid texture? It's probably not a texture. It's probably just a sprite. Where is this thing? Okay, well. Surely this is set up somewhere. Roster mats. No. We engage this like special texture when we select a character sheet, and I like don't know how we know what we're doing. Is it hard coded? Probably hard coded. Character sheet, party manager, party tab. I have literally no idea how we're doing this. There's a button that I hit and everything. Hey, man from you. How's it going? Happy Friday. Nanigans. Genuinely is looking a lot better than it did before you started tinkering with everything. The moving playable area to the top and making it bigger does a lot for prominence. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we correctly identified problems. The upscaling didn't work. You like where the end turn button is now too? Yeah, I'm wondering if I can make that work. I can make the button smaller too. It's arguably bigger than it needs to be. All of those buttons were. Those buttons, the text was double scale compared to the banner. So if I made the text the same scale as the banner, like we've got with like party roster and stuff, we're in good shape. I don't get my nice little orange text shadow. That's fine. I can live. I will live. Thanks for being accommodating. You wouldn't make the end turn button smaller. It's a good fight where it is. In fact, it's the primary action. Okay. But maybe the undo redo buttons get smaller. I might make them little wings off of the end turn button or something. Or I'd put them under the party tab, the party roster here. No, you're right. End turn is one of the only significant buttons. All right, so when I click this, we switch to another texture. That texture is off by 1 and it's driving me insane. And I literally don't know from whence we get this thing. So I'm gonna keep looking for it. Is it this? Party roster button sprite atlas. Yeah, this is probably it. Is it? It might be actually. But it has the correct proportions. Ew. What's wrong with this button? Or this arrow. That's a weird... I rendered that arrow weird. It's I kind of like it, but it also kind of looks like a dreidel, which is not bad. Just not what I expected. Yeah, I don't know where this file is. Kind of incredible. Bad Cop is asking, Dave, do you have opinions? I need some. Yeah, I have so many opinions. Ask me about something I don't know, because that's what I've got the most opinions about. I applaud your dedication to making stuff in Blender, Ving. I could never. I can't even like adjust stuff. Okay, here's the character sheet button. Do we really just load the character sheet button over that other texture? And then and that's just what we do? And is that other texture just the wrong size or something? What is the right way to organize a big Godot project? Oof. Oof. I've never come up with a satisfactory answer to that question. Hope that helps. Because, yeah, organizing a small Godot project's easy. I'll tell you the way Godot wants you to do it, which is to organize it based around, like, scenes. And they want you to, like, associate everything that's, like... They want, like, if there's a script that's, like, in the root node of a scene, they're like, you better put that script right next to the scene. That's what we want. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. I would consider that an unsolved problem. Okay, so why is this shifting over by 1 pixel? There's probably one Atlas texture that's messed up by 1 coordinate. Because I think I figured out what's happening, I think. Toss it all in the root folder and don't worry about it. Honestly, that's what I've been doing lately. Like, I have so much shit just in the res folder that I have not bothered to organize. You think a tree is just inherently the wrong structure, and unfortunately the file system is a tree? That's a good point. That's a good point. I feel like it should just be a big bucket of files with tags. I think that would probably be better for games. I like tags. Tags are great. Tags are great because they're like additive, right? Oh yeah, what does the OS dev think? Hey man, from you. You're currently making an RPG with Godot. It is getting pretty messy already, even though probably a couple more years to go with it. Oh yeah. There's so many, you get into so many constraints. You get into so many constraints. Okay, so the character sheet's right. But I don't know why this whole thing shifts down. That's so weird. I know there's other stuff I should be looking for, but that's got my... This has my attention. It's like one thing that's wrong that's driving me crazy. Tab name, string name, party roster tab, party roster texture. Party roster texture is roster mats. Somewhere else we change this. To not something set by the roster mat. They did the roster mat. The roster mat. Apparently I don't ever set it to anything except one of the party roster. Actually, was those two different dictionaries I saw there, or am I just calling them different things? Roster mats, roster count. Party mats hover. Okay, that's different. Roster mats, roster count. Party mats hover is a variation of it. That's fine. I'm probably not calling this party roster in some place. Somewhere this is getting changed. And I genuinely don't know where. We're going to go into the remote tree while this is up and just try to figure out the resource that's being used here that's just totally messed up. Party manager. Party roster. Oh, there's something else? This is something else? Where is this? The roster tab. Oh, now I'm really confused. Oh, is it this thing? The party button? Yes, it is. Found it. Was it the thing that I'd clearly labeled was the thing? Yes, it was. Why can't I? Oh, because I've hit it. There we go. And it's off by 1. As was foretold. Now it's in the right spot. And now this probably needs to move over by 1 as well. It needs to move at least up by 1. Probably over by 1 as well. Yeah, I don't know. People are talking about the co-locating. I think to me, you either like your folders are you either organize your folders by like the object or you organize it by the type. And for small projects, I love organizing by type. Godot prefers you use like keeping, like related resources next to each other and stuff like that, but I don't know. I have 3 different folders labeled cards that all have different contexts and store different things. And they're like, yeah, the tree thing is rough. The tree thing is rough. I don't know. I don't have a good answer either. It sounds like people in the chat have some more reasonable approaches than me. Okay, now this is aligned at least. And it doesn't feel quite so claustrophobic. It's not great, but I need to change the way I think about and or treat the boundary, like the walls, because there's places I want you to be able to play cards. But that doesn't, I don't necessarily want you to be able to like do much else. So I think I need to be a little bit more conditional with how I let you like mouse over and select boundaries. Yeah, this is tight, but I think yeah, this is what you do when you click on the deck. You can see all of the cards in your deck. And we definitely need to redesign this, but I'm not going to do it right now. I need like a scrollable menu that takes over everything. This is okay. I still feel like the equipment icons are a little small, but there's like not much I can do about that. Not really. Okay, so now we have draw deck here, discard here. We have room. We definitely have some room now for some stuff here. Maybe we do undo and redo here or something like that. Maybe we do undo, redo in one spot and we do like menu in the other spot or something. We also have some room here and maybe not here because the enemy roster is going to be more full usually. This does kind of limit the enemy roster to be like 5. You're kind of maxed out at 5 then this way because you really can't extend it below this. My large cards are too large and they're causing us a headache, but I don't think I can make this card smaller. Not without losing the stuff that makes me happy about it. Why not do a swipe animation? You swipe the cards to the left and the right of the card that the user is hovering over. Swipe animation. You swipe the cards to the left and the right of the card that the user is hovering over. That's tough just because that's not really how our... I guess we could implement that because we know what index the card that we're hovering over is and we know what the other card indexes are for the adjacent cards. So what you want is like, I mouse over this card and you want the card to the left and the right to like move away from it. I don't think that's bad. I think this is better because the deck is partly off screen or the hand is partly off screen. So I think you need to pop the card up just so that the player can make sure they've been able to read the whole text is, I think, why it needs to work like this. I definitely like this scale a lot more. I think I'm okay with this draw card, discard organization. I think the roster tabs are a little cramped still, but... Oh, look, it's Nanigans the Bard. Yeah, I can't imagine dealing with the project folder structure for the Cave Rim franchise. How do you even start working on the next Cave Rim? Do you, like, just copy the whole previous one? Just start building from there? I've clearly never had to do a sequel. When you started Cave Rim 2, you did exactly that. Oh, man, that's so brutal. All right, well, I'm probably not going to like the way this looks full screen, but we're going to look at it full screen. It's probably going to be way too much full screen. This is a lot full screen. I admit that. But we're trying to make something that works well on like a Steam Deck, too. I think that's fine, Nix. And you got a big screen. Oh yeah, we're not supporting your ultra-wide monitor, that's for sure. Dang, that's what a lot of sequels do. They build on top of previous systems. Oh yeah, for sure. It's crazy to me to just like clone the project and then be like, time to build the sequel. But, you know, your other option is to have to weigh every single system of like, oh, do we just copy the system or do we like rebuild it? Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to support your ultra wide monitor. We'll do a little bit. This will be anchored. So if you're on Steam Deck or you're on 16 by 10 and you got that extra little bit of space, and I guess maybe we can do this for ultra wide too, up to a certain point, is we could move the UI elements out and down based on your aspect ratio. Like we can pin them to the corners. This is a simple enough set of UI elements that we could do that. And you'd get a little bit more breathing room. Like if you're on an ultra wide monitor, you'd get a little more space on the sides. If you're on a tall monitor, you'd get a little bit more space on the bottom. We'd probably need to limit the number of aspect ratios we support. Like it probably can't be totally open-ended. But it does mean you do have some options if you're like, I don't know, if you want to do that. Like for Steam Deck, that'll help with Steam Deck readability too, just moving things a little. I think I could move the battle screen up a little more. Man, from you, can't wait to test your game in Steam Deck, but at the same time, very afraid of it. Yeah, it's with Godot, it's pretty easy to get a game working on Steam Deck. That is one nice thing. Like from a technical standpoint, it's like really easy. Maybe like here. How far down is this? 7? 7 is weird. 8 is okay. What about 6? Try 6. Nah. Go back to 8. I could see going down a little more too, though. About 10. Or even 12. You are getting well balanced. Nice, thanks. Yeah, it's been a struggle, honestly. We've gone all over the place. And if this wasn't like strict pixel art, we would have had a lot more options. But we have a pretty strict pixel art thing. We have 2 resolutions. We have like the in-game resolution and we have like the UI resolution. And we tried to do some ratios other than 2:1, but you just run into tons of pixel art scaling problems when you do that. I don't know if I like that. Things are a little crowded, I'm going to admit, but it's all very consistent, which I think helps. So we'll have to figure out where we're going to put some more of these buttons. Undo redo needs to be somewhere. I think the player hand is okay. I think I'm going to pop this back up a little. I think I'm going to pop this up a little, and we're just going to acknowledge that you can't really put anything under here. You might load the game up on your deck this weekend. You fixed the UI, so it should hopefully support 12 by 800. Nice, nice. Arneo, you said you'd be done with this today. How are we looking? We're looking okay. We're halfway through the stream. I feel all right. Just make it so people can move the different UI groups around. No. Absolutely not. We theoretically could do like have a scaling option of like 1x or 2x or 1x, or it'd be more like half x. That seems like not a good thing though, from a usability standpoint. I think we're making a small game, and I think doing it this way makes it look and feel like a small game. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If it's a little awkward for people to play on the 32-inch television, I'm okay with that. Oh, I don't like this either. I think we had it. I think we just had it, and we were just gonna live with it. 8, right? 8. -8. You haven't been paying attention for the last while, but the UI is looking much better, in your opinion. Well, your opinion is the only one I care about. No, I'm just kidding. But I do value your opinion as a UI expert here. I think I can live with this. I think I can live with what we got going on here. Yeah, this is fine. This'll do. This'll do for now. We need to position some buttons. But yeah, it is scaled up kind of crazy. But I just couldn't handle the small card thing we had at the 1080p version. And I was too sad at the idea of not being able to support Steam Deck. Or basically any 720p display. It also would make it hard to support like 1440p as well. Like we would have just run into so many problems if we made our native resolution 1080p. And we wouldn't have been better off to have 720p either. With pixel art, I really think it is 360p or bust. .180p is works too, but I think you're really in a 360p world when you're doing pixel art. Yeah, I like the cards. I love the new card design. It makes me very happy. I keep saying it, but I love the little teeths. That was like the only thing I accomplished yesterday. I might move these washes just to be a little bit more centered. They look a little weird, angled to the right. They look a little off balance. Oh, yeah. Hey, Hex. I don't know if I said hi, but hi. How's it going? What have you been up to? Happy Friday. You could make the single dark button that you have in the corner right now. Should be both the full deck and the discard with a single button. Oh. I could do that. I know other games will have like literally buttons that say deck and discard and stuff. I think I'm okay having this just really be for the discard. I think I'm okay with that. It gives a good dead corner for people to put their cameras. Like me. Look how perfect this framing is for me. Right? Like, you can't see what's in my discard, but I can click on it. Like, you can't see what the top of my discard pile is, but... Balatro, as an example, when you click your deck, it just doesn't overlay on top of everything, so you can see the whole deck status at a glance. Yeah, that's what I want, is I want you to be able to click this. Right now, it does this single line thing, which is awful. We're going to do more of like a scrollable grid. So you can just scroll down as your deck gets bigger, because obviously this is unsustainable. But we're already doing things like shuffling and sorting. Although it seems like our sorting is right to left, which is weird. we're sorting this ascended, which is strange. Not kind of what I would anticipate a alphabetical sorting to do. The new cards look nice too. Yeah, thank you. This is finally, I feel like we're finally at a point where I don't hate the card organization. And it's got a little bit of character while still being very simple. You're hanging out? You're trying your hand at making Godot plugins? Hell yes. Just with some card action. Yeah, I'm trying to finish the UI element today, or at least this weekend. I'll probably work at it on it tomorrow at the Godot meetup. I'm gonna try to transition to, we need to start working on actions and combat and all that stuff. All the actual game stuff. But I'm glad I figured this out because it set the bounds for like what we can do. Like I know the size of the map, which influences in me the scale of actions and like how I want to level design and stuff. We tried doing something much bigger where all the individual elements were smaller and more spread apart. And it looked good. It looked like professional as opposed to whatever this is. But it just felt empty and weird and I couldn't get around to it. I couldn't get it comfortable with it. So we're back to 360p, crazy small viewport. You like the new card design? You don't like how you can't see any stats. Oh, and the card? Well, that's gonna be the sort of thing of like you'll do this, you'll throw the card, you'll throw this on the knight, and it will like show you on their character sheet how their stats are changed by equipping the card. So for like weapons, that'll be good, and armor and stuff. Abilities is maybe a little more complicated. In those, you might need to open up to actually see. But yeah, we're taking advantage of the UI we already have, which is the character sheet and the equipment page. And we're going to be putting that information there. But that's fair. I get it. The cards are very minimal. We'll probably add a little more information, maybe. Like maybe what kind of card it is. Like maybe after Rusted Rapier, it will say like weapon or something like that. I need to fine-tune the line spacing and stuff like that. I just picked a random value and just kept going. I think you need to add more bones again. Oh no, Ving. I have no bones, and yet I must flee. But I'm okay with this. I still don't love that the character sheet goes over the boundary, but we're going to be okay with that. The boundaries are rarely terribly relevant. And we could get around it by constraining the parts of the boundary that we use for things like reinforcement points. We can also put some reinforcement points in the map, like as stairs. Maybe for weapons, you could have attack plus X on the card, and for armor, have defense plus X. Yeah, the problem is it's not that simple. And you can just know that by just taking this and hovering over and seeing what the preview would be. Because, like, weapons are equipable by multiple characters. And it's all situational, so you can be like, oh, here's a axe. Okay, I could put that on my ranger or my knight. Okay, here's what it would do for my ranger. And actually, if I already have a claymore on the knight, So when I do that, so for the rusted axe, it's like, okay, here's the rusted axe, and it will just all be plus, right? It would just say like attack +1 or 2 or something like that. And then if I take this and I put it on the knight, I've already got a claymore equipped, so this one might say attack -1 or something like that. So it would be nice to list it all over the place. But we're having to lean on some more context-based stuff to just make it all fit. The only other thing we could do is to, like, reduce this to this. This is what we tried before. It didn't work. This is, like, too small. I think if this was more of a dungeon crawler game, like, I think if it wasn't a card game and it was more of a dungeon crawler game, I would use this scale and I would make the battlefields much larger. My problem is that if I make the battlefields too big, then many turns will be spent just walking around, which we could make interesting by putting in like traps and stuff, right? Both you setting up traps and like fixing traps and like exploring, maybe like opening chests and stuff. But like because it's really tied around to the card turn stuff as far as like pacing, I think we need something small and something very intimate. Nanigans, if you put what stat adjustments the cards do, it will help in the extra space and lets you tell at a glance what they do easier. Then you drag it onto the character. You still have the current behavior. They can see the total of what it does. Yeah, I just don't know if we need both. I don't think we need both. And like some of the card names are long, and I got to decide how I want to support that. I probably want to try to get it down to two levels. We could also do some stuff where if you mouse over a card, it can like bring up the character sheet for it. Like we could show the equipment page for a card. We don't necessarily need it to be equipped to show this, right? Like we could on mouse over, we could do, or probably on click. It probably wouldn't be on like mouse over, but we could do like on select. We could pop up like either a version of the character sheet or a piece of the equipment page, like the equipment page, to show this stuff. We could totally do that. I just think trying to fit it on the card is like impossible. I think it's impossible, and I'm willing to stand by that. I do think maybe I could add a little more information in the bottom. I do need to try to fit the 3-line stuff a little better. Which probably means bringing this out a little. Splintered. Fishing rod. Yeah, see. I'm okay with biasing towards vertical stuff, but I think I would like this. I think if I could get it onto 2, that would be excellent. If I get it onto 2 lines, I do have 1 line down here that I could do something with. Because I don't think I can just say, like, 1 attack. It would be like bludgeoning. It would be like +1 slash. Like the amount of information you need to communicate is too much to be able to put on here, in my opinion. Okay, so one of the reasons I don't think I did this originally was if I type rusted axe, that's now on 1 line. which is not what I want. So is there a version of this that doesn't support that but does support these other things? Which I should just make 2 separate fields and have a qualifier and then like a thing. And that way, even if it's short, we always have the qualifier first and the thing second. That's probably what I'll actually do. Probably what I'll actually do. For now, I'll just make this longer. So for now, I can live with rusted axe being on one line, but eventually I want that split. Oh, you know what? We're forgetting something here. I don't know why I called this portrait. I should call this border. I'll keep calling it portrait. Is it going to be an open map always? Are you planning on adding rooms and walls to like off? No. I think it'll be one section like an Into the Breach map. Having to drag it onto a character to see what every single card does is extra friction. Yeah. But the cards can only ever do things if you drag it onto the character. We could maybe add some like quick move stuff. But that's part of the reason why we have undo redo so readily accessible, is so people can try stuff, and then if they don't like it, they just undo it. Can you drag and drop cards onto the side list? Not yet. That's not doable yet. That's something I would like to do, but it's gonna take some effort. Yeah, a timed tooltip I'm more comfortable with, Nanigans, where it's like if you hover over the card for 3 seconds, it just shows you the equip page. That I'm comfortable doing. That's something we could do. Because, yeah, we haven't even gotten started on tooltipping. We're going to do this because I feel like this adds some depth. That's some nice depth. Hey, Ving. There's always the option of no description. Force the players to guess. Yeah, that's the kind of roguelike that we're aiming to make. Yeah. I think hovering description is going to be our compromise. But yeah, classic move with the roguelike. Oh, you want to learn how something works? You have to die to it. I picked up the Art and Arcana D&D art history book, and I read through the rest of it yesterday. It's so good. One of the things it has was a full-page spread, which was like a comical recounting of a run through the Tomb of Horrors. It was so good. It was this like map style like comic. Oh, so good. I need to become a successful game developer so I can like fund my my tabletop and like miniature like addiction. Bake the line break into the card. I think we'll split qualifier from name. Wrote down ideas I decided to keep into suggestions before we forget. You just love holding me accountable. No, I'm kidding. It's really good. I'll see you at episode 512, Nix. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait till we hit episode 64 on this project, which is only going to be a few more weeks. But I think it'll help me. I think it'll help heal me to go back and see where we were at in episode 32. We're probably busy like serializing things. Or I'm going to look and we're going to be in exactly the same spot and I'm going to like die inside a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to move some of these just a skosh. I've decided. Balance them a little more. At least updating all the card art is like really easy. At least I made that easy for myself. I'm just gonna center these a little more. LSG, you wish you'd thought to number your episodes. You think you've been working on it for 3 months, but time is so convoluted. Yeah, the episode names have helped, or numbers. Episode numbers have helped for sure. Maintain some level. For a while, I was torn between restarting episode numbers or not when I would do new projects or something. I'm glad I did. Because originally this was just like Digital Iliad episode 1, and I was referring to it like as the stream, right? The whole channel and like my journey and everything. But I'm glad I've scoped it to the projects. I think that was a better decision. Yeah, episode numbers help for sure. Whoop. All right, couple minor adjustments here, and then that'll be good. We'll be happy with the cards. I've just been looking at them enough that I have some opinions. There's also a little degree of flatness in this so far. You know what's an aesthetic we should probably be leaning into? Because our UI is so small and so tight, we should probably be going into a little bit more of a retro, like Game Boy aesthetic. As far as once we get to like post-processing and like maybe some stuff, some aspects of it. That's probably something worth doing. To try to sell the aesthetic a little more. Because people love their Game Boys. Games Boy? I don't know. What's my... Games Boys. Yeah, I'm sorry about the heat. We still haven't hit our summer here yet in San Francisco. It was Outside Lands last weekend, which is a big gentrified, expensive, like Coachella-esque, like, music festival here that they put on the polo fields. It's big. I can hear it from my house. And it was cold and wet and windy, and all these young toughs roll up without layers. They're like, it's summer. And I'm like, never have I ever experienced a colder winter than a summer in San Francisco, you know? I know that's an apocryphal quote. Don't at me. Okay, we moved things around a little bit and we added some little teeth shadows. Do we have all of those in here? We do. Oh, I need to update them a little bit. I see some differences between the way we did it before and the way we do it now. Oh, and I need to add this. Okay, a couple tweaks to the character sheet. Okay, I like those. Those slight changes help a little. Yeah, this is I admit this is a very small scale thing. I'm actually going to go back to embedded. Well, we can offer some amount of UI scaling maybe for people at higher resolution. Like what we could probably do is add a menu option that looks at what your resolution is and then offers you some UI scaling, or it like adjusts the slider just for people that are kind of stressed out by how tight this all is. I think that's fine. I think that's fine to do. We'll see. We'll see. I can live with this. You've been keeping local recordings so far? Ooh. Yeah. One stream for me is 50 gigabytes. So I have not been recording my streams locally. I am multi-streaming to YouTube, which helps because then I have the permanent VOD storage, which is nice. So if I ever need to do like a clip show kind of thing, like if I ever want to pull footage from an episode, I can just download the VOD from YouTube, and it's in 4K. I don't have, my audio tracks or whatever, but that's fine. I'd probably dub over the audio anyway. Okay, yeah, I like the watermarks being more centered. That makes me happy. All right, we need to find somewhere to put undo redo. And yeah, I think I'm ultimately okay with context click to move or act. Because it's one character goes at a time, I think that's actually okay. But we still need to find somewhere to put undo and redo. And I'm tempted to do something up here. I'm tempted. Don't tempt me. I'm already tempted. Let's look at undo, redo. Oh no, I wanted to look at the character sheet real quick. Let me do that. I wanted to make a couple changes to the character sheet. I'm going to update these. You eventually want to make some YouTube videos about the actual tech behind everything and how it works. Yeah, I think that'd be great for you. I was originally going to try to do that with, you know, some of my stuff. And, you know, I might get back to that someday, but what I'm really banking on is the ability to do some shorts. Because I'm interested in doing some kind of VODs for like game dev oriented VODs. Like edited video. Like, I probably want to do one coinciding with the demo drop. That's like, I made a Steam demo in 6 months. And so can you, you know, some kind of clickbait nonsense. From idea to Steam demo in 6 months. Something like that. One other thing I need to do here. Need to add a shadow around it. That's better. Did I miss any? Probably. All right. Span this a little bit. 162, 194. Maybe this layer is where I'll put this. All right, what's going on over on chat? Yeah, I'll go, we'll throw you no bones. The Steam algorithm will not send anyone to your page. Unless you're already driving significant external traffic to it, is unfortunately, apparently the current state of the Steam algorithm. They'll give you a little bit, they'll give you some impressions when you launch, I think, maybe. But even still, like, from what the Butterscotch Shenanigans team says, it's, like, rough. Could toss your undo redo to the left of the end turn button. A bit smaller. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking about putting it on each side. But we'll see. Yeah, I think your game will be good for shorts too, LSG. These are some good YouTube devlog names. I quit my job to make my dream game. I got fired from my job because I was distracted making my dream game. Yeah, that's more realistic. Oh, where are the stupid icons? There we go. All right, now I have to do something annoying, which is copy this stuff over to a bunch of different layers. I'm just gonna do it like this because I cannot be bothered. Oh my god, leave me alone. There we go. Oh, stop. Sorry for the flashing light sequence. Hey, man from you. No, the YouTube algorithm? Oh, you were talking about your Steam page. Oh, you're saying in case the YouTube algorithm gives you a bone, you're waiting till your Steam page. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Because yeah, the YouTube algorithm is equally fickle, but it does seem to throw more bones than the Steam algorithm. Whether those are high quality views or whether they convert to anything, you know. Anytime you have a filter on any of your funnels, like your social media funnels, you're lucky to get a 1%. A 1% traction. Like a 1%, whatever the right word is. You know? Like 1% of the people that look at your thing are going to do the thing after the thing. At best, it's rough. 2,000 wishlist is when you can get a boost from Next Fest. 7,000 can get you into popular upcoming. That feels like on the low end. That feels like on the low end. Number one mistake every indie dev makes. Yeah, listening to me is definitely up there. Yeah, I really need some good YouTube short traction or something. I would like something more like 30,000 wish lists. That would make me happy. Is that realistic? Probably not. But if I get less than that, it's unlikely this game is going to do anything useful for me. We're going to make it no matter what, and we'll probably get a pretty good idea pretty early whether that's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll be cooking on it. Heard you want to try and only get genuine wish lists. Because if the conversions aren't roughly what Steam expects, it really hurts you. Yeah, I don't know if it really hurts you, but... hard to know what a genuine wish list is, because stale wish lists don't matter. We found that out. There's no such thing as a stale wish list. A wish list from, 2 years ago is just about as good as a wish list from 2 days ago. The number one mistake indie devs make is watching number one mistake videos. That is true. That's very true. Yeah, I don't know. These are all good stats, but they're all just like various annual editions of like Chris Sikowski, like hot Steam stats. And like they're guidelines. They're not like the Bible. They're not like the testament of like unimpeachable truth. It's just like stuff that you kind of see, like trends. You think at least 10K is ideal for popular coming? I don't think ideal is the word. Most publishers want 100K before launching. Yeah, most publishers. For example, how many dudes had about 400,000 wish lists going into their launch? I think just shy. And they sold 100,000 copies in their first 2 days. That's pretty good. That's still a pretty low conversion rate when you think about it. But that's still pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Yeah, very, very pretty good. I mean, they're a professional game dev studio with like over a dozen full-time employees. So they need successes like that. We're little indie solo devs. You know, even a 10th of that is like life-changing money to an indie solo dev. Well, you can't exactly call it a 25% conversion rate, Nix, because like it's confusing because you get wish lists. Usually when you come out of your launch, you actually usually have about the same number of wish lists as you did before your launch. And it's because you as wish lists are converting, you're getting new wish lists. So a lot of people will see basically the same number of wish lists. They'll see their wish list count remain steady through their launch. But it depends. They had a really steep launch discount, which I think was smart. Because their game was very memeable. Memeable. How's it going, Boolean? Still packing? Man, from you don't really care about wish lists or people right now. You just want to make a good game that you like to play. If it works for you, it works for some others, sure. I think that's great. And I think it depends on what you want to do and what your expectations are. If you want to quit your job, you got to think about this stuff a little more, maybe. But I think that's a valid approach. Obviously, that's necessary but not sufficient, is what I will say. A good game is necessary but not sufficient for the kind of stuff we're talking about. There's plenty of good, great games that have 50 lifetime reviews, right? That's like the doldrums that you get stuck in, is when you have like 50 to 100 reviews over the lifetime of the game. If you have 50 to 100 reviews in the first month, that's awesome. That's great. But yeah, if your game's been out for like a year or two and you're still at 50 reviews, I've seen some incredible games that just died there. It's unfortunately more than just having a good game. There's like a bunch of stuff about appeal. Not necessarily marketing with a capital M, but there's a certain appeal that matters, a certain Shik's appeal. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm moving the character sheet around because it's in the wrong spot. Because I expanded it. You just finished making some beef jerky for the road? Oh, nice. You killed the cow. You cured the meats. You're good to go. That was fast. LSG, you bought Chris Z's course, and while it's all really good info, it'd be basically impossible to follow everything to the letter. Yeah, they're guidelines. They're guidelines. He's found a bunch of correlations and signs and portents. All right, how do I like this with the shadow? I really like it with the shadow. That really helps pop it a little bit. I do think I maybe need to move it over one more pixel. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Is this in the right spot? No, this is in the wrong spot, so we have to move this. I think that's still in the right spot, but yeah, the character sheet highlight needs to move a little bit too. in LSG. Yeah, for you, you want to quit your job, so you have to take the marketing seriously. Yeah. You're gonna take a nap. GG's. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Have a good weekend. Launch discounts your strat. I think that can help. I think it can help get a foothold. Yeah, that's great. That's great, man, from you. It's great to have a hobby like that. Does this mean I also need to move the tabs? It looks like it. Looks like now the character sheet and the roster tabs are desynced a little bit. No? Oh, no, they are. They totally are. Oh, shit. Okay, let me do this. Well, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Why is that being rendered under the sheet? It's in front of it. This highlight is being rendered under the character sheet, and I don't understand why. That's weird. Is there like a z-index that I've done somewhere? Z-index 0. Z-index also 0. You're not like Y sorting, are you? That'd be crazy. No. Huh. Why is that happening? That's actually a really great question. Yeah, I'm not expecting game one to make me, you know, a life-changing amount of money. But I am working on the processes that will hopefully eventually lead to options around that. I think I want to make these tabs a little bigger. I think I want to maybe leave a little more room for the level number. I don't really have any more horizontal space to play with. And actually, we were talking about the limitation to the number of enemies you can have on the party roster. We're probably going to need to have an enemy roster thing that you can scroll. It's probably what we're going to need. Yeah, why is this under everything? Why is this under the shadows for the character sheet? That's weird. Because the party sheets all get spawned in here. Let's look at the remote tab. So the party sheets get all in here. And the sheet highlight is here. And that is below. And so the thing below should be rendered in front of the thing above. Somebody's doing some kind of z-indexing or something. Here's a character sheet. Is there something weird you're doing? Z-index 5. Yeah, the character sheet has a z-index. Why is that? Why is that? Probably from back when we were trying to arrange everything a certain way without using canvas layers. Now we just use canvas layers to split things into discrete UI layers, but before I think we were using z-indexing. You see the new Twitch option that's toggled on? Yes, turn that off. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate you. Thing is that game 1 has to be made before game N can be made. Yeah, true. You want to take your swing. Everyone wants to take their swing. Okay, so that's back there. So we move that down a little. I think that's good. What does it look like up there? That's okay too. could move this. We have a little bit of play here in that I think there's a little bit more room above these text lines than I think there needs to be, because I would love to widen this a little bit. Yeah, this thing needs to move a little. We're playing with the UI stuff today. It's pretty much what we're doing today. I'll probably continue to fiddle with this at the Godot meetup tomorrow, because it's usually a bit too busy to be the sort of thing I can like focus on anything really complicated or involved. But this is all looking just fine. We added a shadow to the character sheet, which I think is nice. It's subtle, but it's nice. I think making the cards pop against the environment is helping with all these shadows and stuff. I think it's helping. I think this is going to be a really good second screen game. Put it on a small screen. Play it on your Steam Deck. It's a small game. It should be consumable like a small game. But yeah, I think the spacing that I have here is a little crazy, and I need to tone it down. Because I also want a little more room for these tabs. I'm gonna try to figure out how to make that happen. Maybe it's as simple as putting the number next to the level word, bringing it onto one line. Although, I don't know. Maybe not. It looks like it's potentially being rendered at double resolution. Let's go look at that, actually. I don't think it is, but it could be. Let's look at the undo redo buttons. How are we doing on time? We're good. Good on time. Where's undo redo? Here it is. Undo redo menu. So this is done at double scale. Oh, no, it's not. Why did I think it was being done at double scale? Oh, that's unfortunate. Why did I think that? That's weird. Let me look at this again. One thing that makes you hopeful is that you'll be able to have a Steam page up for a full year before launch. That's quite a long time. You got a year of development planned for Scrub Little Sub, because that's the part that I don't see myself doing. I don't see myself spending a whole year after the Steam page. But I guess that's dependent on when the Steam page goes up. I'd like the Steam page up in October. And I would love to release this in maybe like June or July of next year. So I don't think I'm going to do a whole year. But I'm going to probably do more like 6 to 9 months or something. I would like to have at least 6 months of the demo up. Holiday 2027 is your goal? Okay. Okay. I'm probably aiming more for summer of next year. Sounds like you got a lot of content planned, which is cool. I'm hoping that the more I tighten this up in terms of scope here now, the easier I'm gonna have the easier the time I'm gonna have when it comes to content development. You'll not work on it for that long, but it will sit. You'll sit on it if you have to. I don't know about that. I think what you should do is you should evaluate it when you get to that point. I think you'll do the math on wish list gains, and it'll either make sense or it won't. Because sitting on it's rough, because then, like, when do you put it in next fest, right? It's rough to sit on it. Like, if you're releasing in fall or holiday, you can put it in the October next fest. If you're doing summer, you can do June, you know? Or maybe the April one if you want to do early summer. So, yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I think you'll see the wish list gains, and maybe you do some YouTube short content and you see if you're getting engagement. That's my plan with this. That's going to really determine how much content development goes into this game, is going to be what kind of feedback I get. And I'm going to have a couple of earlier off ramps if it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. I have some off ramps built into the development, where I can be like, well, maybe we don't do all 15 characters, you know? Or we don't go too crazy on content or something. Like, there's a lot of ways I could pare back if it looks like we're not getting much engagement, or the demo doesn't really get picked up by anybody. Yeah, can we tighten this up a little? All of this feels way too crazy in terms of spacing. Let's look at end turn. We'll use end turn as our guide. Oh yeah, why did I think that the undo redo button was drawn at double resolution? It looks like the move button is, right? No, am I crazy? Okay, so the move button is done at double scale. Is the undo redo button not? Okay, the icon, the undo redo icon is not. Is the text not? The text is double scale at least. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I can think about what I want to do there. Figure out where we want to put the menu. We can make the menu button smaller for sure. This is like way bigger than it needs to be. All right, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I might put the undo redo buttons as little icons next to end turn, and they just expand out. I might basically do the same thing here, but here. And then I just need to figure out where the menu button should go, but that's fine. It's actually not that big of a problem. You don't really actually need one. You can just have it come up on back button or whatever. You don't really technically need a menu button. And the move button, we might never come back to the move button. Chrissy says to sit on it. Yeah. I think if you look at time and see that time is actually providing you some benefit, definitely. If your wish list per day count is going good, if you're getting engagement on anything, if marketing it does something, yeah, sit on it. If it's not, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously trust Chris Z over me, but don't trust him too much. All right, what are we talking about in terms of spacing here? Yeah, I think the question is whether you're getting momentum. If you're getting momentum and you see it, great. If you're not getting momentum, I don't think you should hold your breath. Yeah, I think shorts will be good. I think that's when you know. It's like if you're putting the shorts up and you're getting wish lists conversions from the shorts, whether it's YouTube or TikTok or whatever. I think I'm only going to do YouTube. I'm not going to fuck with TikTok. TikTok can go really well for people, but I'm not enmeshed in the or immersed in that ecosystem enough for that to be true for me. Okay, so this is 8. So yeah, this is too big. Let's tone this down. And then so this could be 6 up as well. So that means I can get rid of 4 up here. That's excellent. That might be too much, but we'll play it by ear. Yeah, maybe I add 1 back. Maybe I add 1 back for safety. I'm gonna move the text though. What is this? 5. 1 more. Yeah, there's a Go ad edge which goes, don't throw good stones after bad. And it's really just means like don't try to salvage a lost cause. It's basically like a Go analogy of the sunk cost fallacy. I think it's indicative. Yeah, I don't know. I would be hesitant paying any kind of service for any kind of social media, anything. Multi-posting or whatever. I'd be very skeptical of any service that says they can get you visibility. I don't think anyone knows how this stuff works. Yeah, my general approach is to not engage with social media services that I don't use. And that's just like, and it's easy because like I have a presence on YouTube, so I use YouTube. I have a presence on Twitch, I use Twitch. But like you'll never see me posting about my game on Reddit. And it's not just because I don't like Reddit. It's also because I'm not a part of any of the communities there. It's tough to come into a space just for the purpose of marketing. Hey there, fellow kids. How do you do, fellow kids? That's the line. I get some texture bleed on this potentially. We'll see. We'll see if I end up actually getting the texture bleed. Reddit helps hates self-promo anyway. Exactly. You're wary of hitching your wagon to a single social media platform. I mean, why not? We're all dependent entirely on Steam. I think it's just good to have like I think it's good to target. I think especially if you're an indie dev, it's really good to try to just do one thing at a time. Like, I don't think it can be overstated how good it is to just do one thing at a time when you're a solo dev. If you got a team, you can be doing all sorts of stuff. You can be hitting so many different things. But yeah, if you're a solo dev, just try to do one thing. Tackle one platform. Work on one thing. Like, from what I hear from like Butterscotch Shenanigans, don't even think about or worry about publishing to any other platform than Steam until you already have a successful Steam launch. Once you've got the successful Steam launch, then maybe look at putting your game on the App Store. Then maybe look at doing a console port. You know, unless Microsoft is giving you money to be on Xbox, like, at least for game sales, everything breaks down. Everything comes down to Steam. There really isn't anything other than Steam. You refuse to use X and Blue Sky. I don't think X and Blue Sky does anything for you. Certainly not Blue Sky. I like Blue Sky, but, you know, I don't think you're reaching the people that way. I think that's good for networking professionally with other devs. I think that can be nice. Okay, it looks like YouTube has fixed the crazy bot view botting that we've been experiencing for the last couple of weeks. Our viewership is back down to something reasonable. So I appreciate all of you who are here just hanging out with us on a Friday as we kind of just yap and work on some small stuff. Okay, yeah, we trimmed a lot of space off of that. Did I trim off too much space is the question. Maybe a little. I maybe did a little too much. I think trimming the bottom was right. I think I trimmed too much off the top. Let's look at how different this texture is, though. Like, let's look at how much we are working with here. Why can't I see any of this stuff? Oh, there you are. What is this probably? This is probably more than 4. What size do you think you are right now? 27? Why can't you be smaller than 27? Is that because that's the size of your textures? Okay, maybe we add 2 back. Maybe 1. 1 or 2. Oh, is this maybe just positioned wrong? Ah, yes. I was like, I thought we did a good job. Yeah, I think we did. The only trick is we have to actually update the texture atlases. Wait, why is normal? Oh, I know why. Hey, madam, is that for a long game, or if you're talking to me, I'm actually not sure what we're talking about. Oh, welcome in. How's it going? Sorry, the context rot for streamer brain is like really high. How's it going? Welcome in. If you're talking to chat, you can ignore me. I'm treating this like a jam, but no, this isn't a jam. This is a game we're trying to make in about a year. But we are approaching it kind of like we would a jam. Steam is the bottom of the funnel. You need traffic drivers to Steam. That is true. You actually, pretty much all the traffic you're getting on Steam is going to be externally driven. Yeah. My live streams here are long burn, like slow burn, long term, like just trying to build up a hardcore audience. But I acknowledge that I'm going to need some kind of mass market appeal, and it's going to come from shorts or it's not going to work. Like either this game is going to translate well to short, which I'm hoping it will, especially with how tight the composition now is. I'm hoping this will convert to shorts very well. Okay, yeah, we managed to squeeze a few pixels out of this. It looks like maybe 4. We have to see what we're saving here. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count, no, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3. Let's see. Let's grab that. Where is that? This 226. We might drop that down by 1 more or something. I'm actually not sure where it's being cut off. Whoop. Uh-oh. Whoop. Are you planning to reach out to creators as well? Probably, eventually. There will probably be a key mailer campaign someday. But I think that sort of thing, unless you're big, unless you have recognition, the likelihood of people picking that up, or it's like, I think reaching out to creators can be very effective, but I don't think you're going to get a great return on that unless the demo got picked up. Like, I think if people pick up your demo, I think it'll be really easy to go back out and be like, hey, you should check this out. Like, here's a key to the game. It's out. I think it's going to be tough to try to get that to work otherwise. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is 3. Why is it 3? That's weird. Oh, well. So this is 24. Maybe it should have been 25. What do we got going on here? Someone's going to be odd. That's 7. That's 6. Actually, yeah, okay. Let's pop this up 1 pixel up here. Actually, we can just do all of these. Up. Up. And up. Two, 24. Yeah, I wouldn't bank on news sites unless you're doing something newsworthy, which is unlikely. I think you can maybe get lucky if you show up at like PAX or something and like you happen to get a journalist there who's like, "Oh, cool." But the thing about journalism is the games journalists want to talk about games that are already seeing success and already have notoriety or recognizability. Because like if you report about a game that nobody knows about, nobody's going to read the reporting. So there's like a catch-22 with that, which is frustrating. Which is you're only going to get press if people already know about the game. Very frustrating. So yeah, we really don't have much choice except to focus on social media stuff. I think I might have overdone this. Let's see. Let me just do this. This will look wrong, but I just want to see what this looks like. Actually, that looks fine. I think I could go even farther, actually. Trying to give some breathing room at the bottom here. What if we went one up? All right, take it easy, Nanigans. Yeah, we're not going to stream tomorrow. I have my Godot meetup tomorrow. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty good. I think I can live with that. And what's this? 22? We're just tweaking a little bit of UI stuff here at the end of the day. Yeah, that's why everyone, this is why everyone says, make short games quickly, is you're really just rolling dice. And, you can stack the odds in your favor a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're just rolling. You're just rolling dice, and you just want more rolls. Maybe improve your ability score multipliers. Whoa, that was crazy. What's going on there? Is that 22? No, that's 22. There we go. Okay. So, you just put it out there. You hope it gets picked up. If it doesn't, the hard part is just being able to let go if it doesn't. That's the hard part. All games have some kind of inherent limit in terms of their appeal, what kind of success they're going to see. And the problem is, even if you're really experienced, it's really hard to tell beforehand what that is. Really hard. You can have all sorts of experience and get that wrong. But we're lucky. We're indies, so we're very flexible. Small success is big success for us. And that's great. All right, okay, I think I'm done with that. Now we just need to update that here. All these textures. What's going on? Oh, I just need to update this. 22. You're so ready to get let go of Scrub, honestly. Like you want to do your best when you want to get back to spooky games. Yeah, that's why I was like, that's the only reason I was like pushing back on your like, I'm gonna let it sit for a year. It's like, maybe. I would consider that an outlier rather than like the default. I know you didn't say I'm gonna let it sit for a year. I know you're like, I'm gonna make sure the Steam page is up for a year. And it's like, that could work. That could help. It's not guaranteed to help. Yeah. I think we just make the game. We put it out. We see if it gets traction. If it gets traction, we capitalize on it. If it doesn't get traction, we do whatever we can to wrap it up in with the least amount of, you know, difficulty. You got to do the best that you can. There's not much else you can do. All right, that still seems like too much, but it's definitely better. So we're gonna live with that. Because actually, I guess when we highlight it, it's probably better. It's probably a nice amount. Yeah, that tab still feels like too big, but whatever. I think we move it up, like physically one more, but we leave the texture the same size. Because then even if the shadow, I think, is what covers us there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, then this can move up by 6. This one can move up by 6 and just be 220. So this wants to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we trim 6 off of the sprite. And then we just reposition this a little. Honestly, the issue is that you're making an adventure game, so there's sort of an implied minimum amount of content. It's more than you prefer. You're hoping you steer more to a cleanup game with fewer, denser levels. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I also prefer making more systematic games over more static content, like linear narrative content kind of stuff. And you're like, but Dave, you're making like an RPG dungeon crawler. Isn't that like a crazy amount of all this stuff? And the answer is yes, it is. But it's also pretty small, so I think we can do a lot with just archetypes and systematic stuff, and we don't need to go too crazy. All right, so I think we've made a little more breathing room. Yeah, that's better, although it needs to be hidden. We were infringing a bit too much. This is better. Why is the party roster now kind of desynced? Oh, you know what? Maybe I misjudged something. I think I meant to do something and then I didn't. Yeah, I meant to move up the character text and then I didn't. Cool. Tight. And then I misjudged a bunch of stuff because of that. Tight, tight, tight. So this ended up being 4. I wanted it to be 6, which is probably why this felt like I was like, why do I have so much space? That explains some of that. All right, so we're gonna probably move this down a little bit more. Whoa, whoa, buddy. So we've got this. I'm probably gonna physically move it down 1. That might be right. Let's see. Let's see what this feels like. It's okay. That's okay, actually. I could probably wiggle it a little bit. I probably will. Probably add like 2 pixels back, but I don't need to do that now. I don't need to do that on stream. That's like a deeply boring thing to do, but maybe we just knock it out. Maybe we just knock it out anyway. Uh, 2 or 4. What do we want to do? I'll figure out where I'm going to put the undo, redo, and all of that stuff probably tomorrow. I'll try to finish up the UI, and then next week we can start fresh on actions and cards and combat, on getting combat stuff all set up. I'll probably need to enable contextual movement. That's fine. Probably make a few different end turn buttons. So like end turn, it's end turn now, but it'll probably be like deploy. Or like to battle. I made a to battle button. That's probably what it'll say. And it'll be contextual. That'll be all right. Oh, Twitch is saying I'm running out of time here. Yeah, overlapping mechanics sounds good. CA2 hasn't streamed for a while. Yeah, we'll stretch this back down a little bit. I went a little too far. I like this margin in terms of the margin from the bottom of the text to the bar. I like that. I just trimmed a little too much off the top, which sounds like a classic thing to do. Trimmed a little too much off the top. I can probably fix that by just going back here. What's this? Is this 24? This is 23. What? When was I doing 23? Okay, that's 24. Maybe I do undo one more time. Like that. Is that 24? 24. 24. Yeah, we'll just go back to this. At least it's easy to undo this stuff. That's 7. that's like too much. But what we're going to do is we're going to have that be overlapped. Oh, 48. And 24 and 24. 48. 72. Yeah, that's better. And so I can put 2 back here. $26. Okay, so we're going to split the difference by 2. Oh, pre-roll ads are on. Means we're just about time here. Is this 5? 5? What? Oh no, what did I do? I did this wrong. Dave, you son of a gun. Oh, wait, no, I miscounted. It would count from here. Yeah, okay, I did it right. I miscounted the men, Liz. LSG, you have to decide if you're going to use OBS to film your trailer footage or if you're going to use Godot's annoying video maker. The problem is that it saves to a really weird format and also is insanely slow. The OBS capture won't be as high quality. Yeah, I don't know about that. I have a screenshot capture little thing that I've done. I could probably make a GIF version of it. How big can a GIF be? Yeah, I don't know. I record my OBS stuff in 4K. So I feel like that'll be all right. It's like, I don't know how low quality or whatever it's going to be because it's like, it's like what are you targeting? This is the wrong thing. This one. But I get it. I'm not looking forward to doing a trailer either, but it must be done. Actually, my partner's getting more into video editing. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have a very talented artistic partner who helps. Do you do 60 FPS as well? Yes. The caveat is yes, except for this. The camera that's on me is also 4K, but I think at 30 FPS, but nobody notices. Nobody notices that I'm at 30 FPS, but I think my screen capture is 60 FPS, yeah, at 4K. I bet you could do it. I bet you could do 4K 60 screen capture. Yeah, you want to do 4K so you can zoom without losing quality. That's a great reason. It's a great reason. I'm basically a PNG tuber. I'm a kind of PNG tuber, yeah, I guess. Yeah, the low 30. It makes me look cinematic. I should lower it to like 24 frames to give myself that cinematic quality. I don't like 60 FPS filmed stuff. It's alarming. All right. Okay, I'm happy with this. I think that was a lot of nitpicking for very little gain, but we've turned what used to be an incredibly tight fit here into something a little more acceptable. So I think we'll live with that. Feels a little less awful. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot. I think I'm pretty happy with the UI. I think I'm gonna work on adding the undo redo and maybe managing a little bit of this stuff. But I think we're all right. You are literally a PNG tuber, LSG. I guess that's funny. All right, I really do have to go. No stream tomorrow. Yeah, try to get some sleep, Arneo. Try to get some sleep before Tuesday, which is when I'll be back. Yeah, this has been good. I appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. CA2 software is not online, so I have to reject Magoo's channel point thing, fortunately. But yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up. I've waited too long to do any kind of raid out. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. So, yeah, thank you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you. We'll see you Tuesday when we start the real work. Bye.